Alright guys, welcome back to another Dayz tutorial. So I recently watched a video from Scale Speeder, a very good video, nothing wrong with the video whatsoever, it's very informative. I actually learned, one or two things from it myself. But he did a video recently, or literally just a couple of days ago, showing how you can delete items off your map without having to do a map wipe, without having to use your admin controls to do it. All it involves is adding some items to a certain file and restarting your server, and your items will go. Now, basically, I tested this because I didn't know about this. I knew this file existed, but I didn't. I actually thought it worked in an opposite way. But that's for a different story. But yeah, what I'm going to show you is what he showed you, how you can delete items off your map without, doing a server wipe or without doing a map wipe. But I did some testing, and there is something that you need to be careful of for your players that he didn't talk about in his video, and I think it's very important because it could cause issues if you're adding the wrong item. So basically, I've just got 5 different types of storage here. I've got like a tent, a barrel, a bag, a storage chest, and a vehicle, like a little ATV there. And I've also got my player inventory storage, but that's not going to be affected. I'll go through that in a minute. But basically, in each of these storage things, we got some items. We got a piece of paper, we got some oil, and we've got an AA12. This is a snafu version of the AA12. So a couple of vanilla items and a modded weapon, just so you can see it works with all kind of weapons. And we've actually got the same in each storage item. I'll just quickly show you. So paper, oil, snafu AA12, the same there, and the same in the tent. And also you can see in me, I got a couple of bits of paper, some oil, and the AA12. Now, when I restart the server, currently how I have it, they will despawn out the storage thing. But the ones on me should stay. That won't be affected. It's just all the other types of storage items that you're going to have on your server. Now, it should be any storage. I've only tested these types, but a storage is a storage, right? I've tried to cover a cargo storage, and I've tried to cover the hoarder storage that you get in your types file. I think I've covered it all there. I'm not too sure, but I think that's all covered. Right, if we actually just tab out a game a minute, and we'll go to my server. This is actually one of my friends and my server. Now, what you want to do is locate to your MP mission on your server, and then whatever mission name you're using, and in this case it's Banov. Now, once you're inside this location, you will have a CFG ignore list.xml. If we open that up, and you'll have in here by default all these lists of items. Now, any items in this file, when you restart your server, if you got these items on your map, they will delete, they will vanish, they'll go away. And we've also added the AA12. We've added this, that wasn't there by default, nor was the vanilla paper. I've added paper in because everyone just leaves paper on the floor, and I thought paper's a good way to get rid of. But again, you got to be careful what you add in here, and this is what Scale Speeder didn't go into. And I thought with my bit of testing, I figured this is going to be a bit of, or it could be a bit of a problem, and I want to cover it. I wasn't going to cover the video because Scale Speeder did a very good video, all credit to him. But I feel, server owners need to know this because it could cause your players issues. Now, so any items in here will despawn, and it kind of needs to be set up like this. As long as they're in your types file, this will work as intended. Now, I'll go over how you get the names in a minute, but essentially it needs to be formatted like this. So as you see with the arrow, type, name, equals, and then quotation mark, name of the item, quotation mark, the right and left arrow, / type, right arrow. It needs to be, structured like that. And you can see they're all the same going down. Now, we'll go over how you get this in a minute, like I just said. But what I'm going to do is, you'll see we've got the, where is it? The engine oil there, and we got the paper and AA12 at the bottom. They're the 3 items that I just showed you in the storage. Now, if we go ahead, and you can see we're still in game. We haven't restarted at the minute. Everything is still, you know, in there as it should be. Right, if we go ahead and actually delete, not delete, restart the server. We're not deleting anything. We're just going to restart the server. All them items will delete because of that CFG ignore list. Right, so let me go ahead and just simply restart the server. You can stop and start it, or you can just restart it. As long as the server stops and then it starts, it's going to work the same. So a restart versus a stop and start is essentially the same process. Just the restart will stop and restart your server automatically, where if you click stop, you got to manually click start. But it's the same process. Right, that is now restarting, and we're just going to give it, yeah, we're using Gaming Deluxe. I do have a dedicated control panel, as you will know from my other tutorials that I use, but my friends started a server up with Gaming Deluxe, and we kind of just been helping each other, you know, making a server between us using this as well. Right, now it should have restarted. Right, if I just click play, so yeah, if I just click play and load in, it should all be up. My recording software, when I tab out of the game and into the server files, or to, you know, any application, my recording software may just take, well, it will take a couple of seconds delay to pick up what I'm recording. Right, okay, so we're back in. I've not edited nothing out at this point. It's all been like live recorded, should I say. I've not cut anything out. Right, now if we go to these items, so we'll start off with the ATV. Doesn't matter which one to start. Nothing. You can actually see 0 out of 300. That is empty. It'll be the same for the storage crate, the backpack, the barrel. See, nothing out of the total, and the car temp, nothing. They have all gone. So that is a quick way. Oh, now we've got an airplane coming over. That is a quick way of deleting items that you don't want on your map, or if you got if you got too many items. We just go to our inventory. You can see everything is still in my inventory as it was, so it doesn't touch your player inventory, just any other storage. Now, I want to go back to Scale Speeder's video, and I want to go from an example that he had. So he mentioned in his video that he had too many flags spawning on his server. He had basically set up his types file wrong. There's a section where you can disable or enable counting map, which means any items that's in the map, it will count that item if it's enabled, meaning it won't spawn no more if that item is already on the map and you've already got the maximum value that it should be. But he didn't have it enabled. He had it disabled, so it ignored any items on the map, and it kept spawning all these flags. And he wasn't aware until a player told him. So he just basically used this method and deleted the whole lot. Now, the trouble with that is, as you will just see there, any items in that CFG ignore list XML, it's going to delete from players' storage. You know, if a player has got an item and they've been storing it up for whatever reason, it's going to get rid of it, and you're going to have angry players. You're going to have to go and need to refund and compensate players, and it's probably not ideal. So you need to be careful what you're putting in that CFG ignore file. Now, flags isn't so much of a problem. No one really stores flags. You will get some people, but the majority of people won't even pick up a flag. But if that was, say, with an item that someone did pick up, I don't know, a 50 cal, a breach and charge, whatever it is, some useful item that players will store, and you realise you made a mess up with that item in your types file, and you use that CFG ignore list to get rid of it, it's going to delete it from players' bases. Sorry, I can't even speak today. I'm trying to get this video as quickly done as possible because I know they drag on. But yeah, and you're gonna problem. You're gonna have some angry players, and you're gonna need to go and compensate them. Now, if you've got a server that maybe you only got 1 or 2 players on, or there's no one on, it's not so much of an issue. But if you've got a server that's very active, 20, 30, 40 plus players on your server, and they've all got a few of them items, you've got to go and compensate all them players. And I just don't think it's worth the trouble doing that. I think if you want to delete an item off the map, do it the old-fashioned way. Use your admin tools. Um, you know, you can use your XML editor, ESP tools, and you can go around and manually remove them. Or just let the central economy do its thing and let it despawn naturally. Because again, this is like a lot of this is PC based that I base it on. For your console server owners, I don't believe you have access to any type of mods, any type of admin control. So in that case, if it is for console, using that CFG ignore list is probably a good way of doing it. But maybe using the natural method and letting the central loot economy do its thing is better if you've got a lot of players on your server. Now, because I want to show you this working, we just, when my recording software picks it up, we just tab back to Game Deluxe here. If we go back into this file, because I want to, show you it working and, what I mean. So we've just showed you it deleting items in there. So let's take away this gun, for example. Right, the AA-12. I'm going to keep the paper and I'm going to keep the oil because unless there's a mod that I think that actually makes oil useful, default engine oil is non-existent anymore. You don't need it. And the paper, people just leave paper on the floor everywhere, and I don't want paper. So I'm going to keep them in. The only thing I've removed is the AA-12 because I don't want that gun, disappearing off the map because people might actually store that at their base. So we're going to save this, and we're going to put them same items back into the all the storage containers. Let's go and do this now. Let's just save that. What we'll do is we're going to do a quick... No, we won't do a quick restart. We should be able to do it when we're in game. I don't want to restart a third time. So we'll try and avoid that. So what we're going to do is... we'll just search paper. Oh, and I'll show you how you find the class names of the items too. Right, I don't even know why I'm doing the paper and oil again, because you see this is going to work. But let's just pop the AA-12 in there. That's the backpack. Oil, paper, and then the AA-12 again. Right, in there. So that's the backpack, that's the storage crate, the ATV. And this can be any item as well. It's in there. And I'm not going to bother about keeping it on my player inventory this time because you saw, adding them items to that file doesn't affect your player inventory. So I'm not going to be too worried about that. I just want to make sure I show you the storage items and it actually is working. And do we have... Yeah, it's there. So in each of the storage items, we've got the AA-12, the engine oil, and piece of paper. In each 5 of them. Now, if we're going to give it just a few seconds. Because as soon as you do something in Dayz, if you restart your server, pretty soon after, it kind of like doesn't pick up on the last few like seconds of things that you do, maybe last minute. So I'm just going to give it a few seconds, let the game register that them items are actually in there. So when I restart, it knows what I've put in there. Now should probably be a good time. I'm guessing we'll just give it a little bit. Yeah, I'm guessing it should be right now. So let's just go ahead and do a restart. And you'll see, we'll let the server, obviously come back up. But you'll see now, when we go back to the right files. So I know this is dragging on, but like the purpose of my video is to make sure I explain everything to you guys. So if it takes a little longer, it takes a little longer. At least you're seeing everything, and you get more of an understanding. So if we go back into the CFG ignore list.xml, we've removed the AA12. So when we log back in theory, I may have to restart again. Hopefully not. The paper and the engine oil that we put in there, they will be gone, but the AA12 will still be there because it's not in that list. Right, and while we're in the server files, if you need to get the name, so in this file, if you need to add something, the way I find is probably better is if you just copy a line. So highlight it, press Control and C, which is copy. Underneath, press Control V. It'll paste in what you copied. And then what we can like literally do is save that for now. Go to say your types file. It doesn't matter which types file it is. We'll just go to the vanilla one. Right. And in here, what I would suggest is copy what you've got in here and open it up in a notepad, let's say like Notepad++, because the search feature in there is a lot better. So we're going to press Control A to copy that entire thing, and Control A to highlight the thing, and then Control C to copy up. And we've got Notepad open. We're just going to bring that over. We'll open up a new page and we'll Control V. Now in here, if I wanted to say search for paper, I know it's called paper. If I press Control F, it'll bring up this find box, and I can type paper and press enter, and it'll take me to stuff that has got paper in the name. So we don't want gift wrap paper, so I'm just going to click find next, and it comes. The next thing is paper. This is what we want, and you can literally just copy the name from there. If you don't know what something is called, but you've got a rough guess. So that engine oil, I know it's called engine oil, but if I was to just type oil, okay, nothing actually no, I think it's called motor oil. If I type, that's not even in here. Okay, it's not even in the files. We'll just double check the typing engine. Okay, that's not even in here, so that's fine. Looks like Dayz have removed that because they know it doesn't work. Okay, it wasn't in the video, but let's just say I wanted to add like the bandage. Now I know it's called bandage dressing, but if I was just to search bandage or even just dressing, and press enter, and it's going to take me straight to it. And all I do is I would copy the name there. And like I said, any item, if you have a rough idea what it's called but you don't know the exact name, just search for it that way, and then go back to your server files, and not in that one, go back to the CFG ignore list.xml, and in that line that you just copied, okay, I didn't copy the word bandage dressing. I know it's called bandage dressing, but you would make sure it's make sure it is spelt and capitalized and lowercase correctly. I believe it's that. And you would just copy the name from the types file and then add it into there, and then you obviously save it and restart your server. And then anything in there, like I just showed you, will despawn when your server restarts. So we're just going to delete that because we don't want that, and then resave. Now, be careful, like I said before, because you want to be very careful with what you add in this file, because as I mentioned at the start of the video, you don't want stuff in here that players are going to be maybe keeping at their base, or even in their vehicle, because you can see it does it in vehicles too. It will despawn, and they'll lose the stuff. So be very careful what you add in this file. But like I said, it is a good way. Now, the server should be up. We've dragged that on for a little bit. Let's just click play. So again, a reminder, the engine oil and the paper should no longer be there. The only thing that should be in them 5 storage items is the AA12 gun. Just let this load in. Right, okay, we're in. So, moment of truth. Scroll down. No engine oil, no paper, but we have the gun. And I've not cut nothing out, so you can see, again, just the gun. Just the gun in all the different types of storage, just the gun. And it should be just the gun in there too. And it is. Everything else disappears. And that's it. So, yeah, great video from Scale Speeder, but he didn't really go into, or he didn't really explain that if you do add stuff into that CFG ignore list, it is going to also delete that item from the storage. So that's just what I wanted to touch up on, because like I said, I wasn't going to make the video. Scale Speeder's video was really great, really informative. You know, nothing wrong with it all. I just feel there's a little bit of misinformation, and maybe, you know, a little bit more testing. Like I said, when I do my videos, I do try and test these things and make sure I give as much information and I test them and they do actually work for you guys. Because we don't want players, you know, losing stuff when really they shouldn't be. Right, anyway, that's it for now, guys. Until next time, have fun and peace out.